I'm going to flip to then consumers of hip hop. And we're going to ask I'm going to ask a very specific about consumption. So we're talking about 50 years, and throughout 50 years, we've gotten a lot of education through hip hop when it comes to prison reform and everything under the sun that you can learn through hip hop. As a consumer, given the time that we're in now, when we're having conversations about consent, about LGBTQ rights, around misogyny, around all the various things, as consumers of hip hop, do you think we're complicit in the business of misogyny and homophobia? By consumers of hip hop, are we complicit of misogyny and homophobia?
Would you be able to elaborate when you say complicit, so I don't take in the wrong answer? Do you know what I mean?
To clarify, I don't clarify.
Yeah.
It's how you
take it,
how you receive the question, and then how you want to respond.
So she wants me to talk crazy. Yeah. She wants me to talk crazy. So that
question.
No. So are we complicit?
I think it's really. I'll go first. I think it's really,
yes or no first. So just your position. Yes or no? Are we complicit in misogyny and homophobia as being consumers of hip hop? Are we complicit? Yes or no first?
That is a key question to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes, we are complicit. Kevin, yes. I'll come back to your why in a second. Yes or no?
Well, I get why someone would say yeah.
But what is your response? Yes or no?
I'd say obviously yeah.
Okay, we'll stop there. So yes and yes. Chris, yes or no?
Sabrina, why you do this?
Yes or no? Are we complicit? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Oh. Okay. So we have yeses around the table that as consumers of hip hop, we are complicit in misogyny and homophobia. So Kevin, you said yes. You still on yes, Water, before I go to Kevin? Yes or no?
I'm no.
Okay, you no.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said yes. Okay, so
no, you're right. I did say I would say it's hard. I'm gonna say yeah.
Okay, we'll stop there.
Yeah.
We'll stop there. Is your final answer for the moment yes?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, Kevin.
You're liberty.
Yo.
Kevin, over to you. So you said yes, we are complicit. So why yes?
I think it's a complicated yes as well, right?
Yeah, these things are complicated.
We are constantly evolving, and we are constantly, I remember when Eminem first came out, and I was really singing along. I tried to revisit that album recently, the second one. No, the first one, Why Am I Lying? And I realized how wild he was. Like, you hear it back and you're like, what? Like, it's wild. And it's like, I almost couldn't get through it even for the art of it, because my viewpoint of the world has completely changed and completely shifted. Mm-hmm. I think there are lots of languages that we've only recently kind of been able to like pick up and have the words for it to describe the thing. If I came into this room not but 4 or 5 years ago and said, I just bumped into this white lady, she started crying and like she's the one that walked into me, rare tear, you'd all know which kind of white lady I was describing. To shorten that story today, I could come in and be like, oh God, I just had a wahala with this Karen. You would all know exactly what I was meaning. So what I mean is we evolve and like we get information and we start to label things and we're experiencing things. So that's why my answer is kind of yes, and it's a complicated yes, even though you just want me to be 2D in this situation.
No. Your answer could be 2D, but your response could be 2D, but your answer could be nuanced, which is what I expect.
There is a history, and I think there is a beautiful history actually in that complicated question, because it is a chance to look back and see how much we have grown, evolved, and we're like, oh, that's not it. So yeah, I don't even know if that was an answer because you got me shook, but that's all I can say.
I think I'm.
Ain't a crook, son.
I think I'm similar to you, to be fair. Like, I think we've grown up like over the years to a point now we can clock certain things, and I think our generation, well, this world right now, a lot of us are quite woke now, whereas we weren't before. So when we hear lyrics and certain situations, and I think people are more open now, you can pull it up and you can pull artists up and be like, you're saying this lyrics, and a lot of artists are shook to now say certain things because they know they might not necessarily get away with it. So I think you're right. I think it's timing.
I think a great example of that is, as black, brown people, global majority people go out into the world, we are facing a multitude of things, specifically through the lens of like intersectionality. Yes, I go out into the world and I'm dealing with things as a black queer man. You go out into the world and you're dealing with things as a black woman. Lots of different things, right? So all we ever try to come to circle back to, stop me if I'm wrong, for me anyway, is my blackness. That is the safe space to come back to my culture. So sometimes there have been times where you overlook the thing because it's just like, it's like that drunk uncle in the corner.
That's such a good one. Like,
do you know what I mean? That's just a bit like, you're a bit problematic, but uncle, I love you. If you take, specifically in the gay community, and you take things like Boom Bye Bye, that's one of our biggest songs in the club. I'm telling you now, like, we take the piss out the song, but it's ours, like, and we understand what's going on and what's being said, but it's like, no, we're gonna enjoy this because actually it is what it is, because we are where we are. We're all that we got. Sometimes that's to our detriment. Sometimes we think like that, I think, but so yeah, it's a complicated yes.
I'm gonna say yes,
And your why?
because I think everything that Ward and Kevin has said, I agree with, and I'm gonna back it in a sense of we've grown and we've had years to reflect on the art, our behavior, the mode of address, how it's affected people. But I think if you grew up on the hip hop that I grew up on, there were, as much as there were empowerment messages and you had songs like Unity and Ladies First, there were also songs, on the Chronic and the Doggy Star album, which weren't necessarily celebratory of women. They were quite misogynistic.
Yeah.
Let's just call it what it is.
Forget about the, before we even listen to it, look at the cover.
The cover,
Before
right?
we even get to the album.
And I want to preface this and say these are albums that I enjoy, that have made up a great deal of who I am in a musical sense. I was listening to NWA's second album a few months ago, and this wave of guilt came over me. Some of the misogynistic messages. This is an album I grew up listening to and I really enjoyed, and I didn't enjoy it in the same way anymore. The production, amazing. The sonic quality, amazing. But just some of those messages, because Chris is in a different space. I have a wife, I have a niece who I care about greatly, I have a sister, and I've always had these people in my life, but I've had my moment of clarity, word to Jay-Z. And I'm just, these messages don't sit well with my spirit anymore. So I will say, every time I press play on those albums, every time I buy those CDs or I buy the digital download, I'm voting with my money. So I'm complicit in these messages continuing, because someone is looking at it and saying, well, let's sell it.
Yeah.
So let's make some more. So yes, I am complicit, but I'm thankful that I'm in a place as a person and within this culture where I can now say, no, that can't fly, or that's not cool, or at least I have this moral compass pointing in the direction to say, check yourself when you're listening to this stuff.